Okay, all right, Dad. Well, tell us who you are and when you served.
I'm Ernest George Shivers, Jr., and I served in World War II, beginning in January of 1943 till December of 1945. I was in the Navy. I volunteered, mainly because my draft number was coming up, and I didn't want to be in the Army, be cannon fodder. So I joined, went down to the Naval Station in Atlanta and joined up, and they told me, so the rumor got started, there were a number of others in my same position, and they told us we were going to Bainbridge. So I called my mama and told her that I was going to Bainbridge, Georgia. So we got on the train and headed north, and I wondered why we were heading north to get to Bainbridge. It turned out it was Bainbridge, Maryland. So that's the way things went.
And so where did you go for basic training?
That was Bainbridge, Maryland.
Oh, so that was it.
That was a new camp. It was just, they hadn't even finished it when we went there. And the mud was, something like 6 or 8 inches deep. And so we had shoes, nice, good shoes, top, what do you call them?
Those high boots.
Shoes, high boots. And we had leggings. Those were issued to us. And so I was about 100 yards from the mess hall. So we marched from the places where we slept to the mess hall 3 times a day. And it had been raining, it was muddy, it had been snowing, it was cold and icy.
And
but
so
we had good meals. I had never drunk black tea before, and so when I went through the mess hall line to get our food, they had this black drink there, and I thought it was coffee. So when I started drinking, I realized it wasn't coffee, and I didn't particularly like it, but I could put enough sugar in it to make it sweet, and so it was acceptable after that.
So when did they ship you off overseas?
Well, that was in 1944, about maybe June or July of 1944. We left from California, and we sailed out. We sailed out on I say sailed, it was a motor-driven ship.
Yeah.
It was one of those ships, Liberty ships, that they built in 30 days in California, and we all slept below deck. And when we got out into the California, and the bay there into California, from San Francisco or Oakland, we went under the Golden Gate Bridge, right past Alcatraz, and the water was real smooth as it could be out there in the harbor. We got out past there and out in the ocean, and boy, it was rough. So there was a steady stream from the upper deck to the restroom, and we were discharging.
And so you were about, what, 21 or so when you
19.
got on? You were 19 when you got on the ship?
You know, I guess it was 20, yeah, because I've been in 18 months, so I was 20, yeah.
Okay. And were most of the other fellows about that same age?
Yeah.
And so where did y'all sail to?
Well, we went to the islands in the South Pacific. It was, I can't even think of the name of it. But anyway, we went to
Was it the Solomon Islands?
Yeah, Solomon Islands, that's
okay.
it, yeah. And I was with a naval air outfit, and the purpose of that naval outfit was to destroy the Japanese Navy. And so we had a pilot of one of the planes would control two what they call drones, and that was a radio control. And it had each of the drones had a television camera in the nose and a torpedo in the body of the drone. And so the idea was that the piloted plane would crash the drones into Japanese Navy carriers and battleships. But by the time we got over in the islands there and got operational, our Navy, the U.S. Navy, had destroyed the Japanese Navy, Midway and Philippines, battles there. So our unit was disbanded and we were transferred to other units, naval units in the area.
So where did you wind up then?
Well, I went to Guadalcanal.
Okay.
Guadalcanal had been secured about a year before that. So we set up camp there in a coconut grove. They built these plywood platforms there, and then we had cloth tents over that. And so we have the sides of the tents up for several days there, and there were rats, wharf rats, big things. They'd go up in these coconut trees and eat the coconuts and some of the foliage and such. But at night they'd come into our tents and they'd jump on our bumps and jump right off. So we never had any problem with being bitten, but they were present, and that wasn't too consoling. But pretty soon we got the sides up on the tents, so we came out pretty good. And then I was there for about 8 months, and then I was transferred to Guam. And I spent till 1945 when the war was. I was there when the war ended, and came back to the United States in December. And
was your main job as a medic? Is that right?
Yes, I was a part of the medical corps, but my duties primarily were office work, where we had a medical officer. We had a medical unit with doctors and hospital corpsmen. And I was a hospital corpsman, but I worked for the top medical officer there, and most of my work was doing office work.
Did they, is this place where they would bring injured soldiers in or injured naval men in?
No, we were not part of a hospital.
Okay.
This was administrative, and they had hospital ships. Some of the guys, wounded guys, would go there, and then they had hospital units set up where they had Quonset huts and such. They had beds, and those who were wounded or sick, ill, were taken there before. And if they were serious enough, of course, they'd just send them back to the States.
Were you ever in any danger, or did you know of others in your unit that were in any danger?
No, I was never in a situation where I was shot at, anything of that sort. The only thing I remember that happened when I was on Guam, one night, real bright night, moon shining and everything, and all of a sudden a great cloud went up and even separated me from the moon. The moonlight was real bright, and all of a sudden there's this dark black. And what had happened was that we had some ships in the harbor there, and the Japanese plane had torpedoed a tanker. And so as that thing burned, it just let out this smoke, black smoke, and so we, as hospital corpsmen, we were called to be there. We had boats searching for personnel that might have been injured, and we were there in that case to treat any wounded. So, but as it happened, the whole ship went down, and there were no survivors.
Wow. Were you a Christian at the time, and were there other Christians there around you?
Yes, yes. I was a Christian, and we had a number of guys who were Christian, and so it was a very good experience. I enjoyed it.
And did y'all have any time where you could pray together for the others who were serving in danger? And
yes, we had weekly church services where we'd sing and have a biblical message, and they were well attended.
What would you say were some of the sacrifices that you had to make as a young man to serve in the Navy?
Well, I didn't consider what I did a sacrifice. I was working. I had a clerical job with the railroad in Atlanta, in the Atlanta office, and that came very beneficial because I could do office work in the Navy. So I just went from office work as a civilian into office work as in the Navy. So it was a good experience. I'm pretty glad I had the opportunity.
What about your family? I'm sure there were sacrifices that they had to make.
Yes.
Because you were not there.
Yeah, but I did arrange to send a little money home every month. So of course not a whole lot because I wasn't paid a whole lot. But yeah. I did send some money home when I was over there.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add at this time?
Well, just on the humorous side, when I was in boot camp at Bainbridge, Maryland, I went to hospital corps school there, and as we got toward the end of the course, it was 6 weeks course, they gave us 3 choices of where we'd like to go. So being from Atlanta, I chose Charleston, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Birmingham, Alabama. And so when the orders came through, I was transferred to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Nowhere close. But it turned out all right, huh?
Yes, yeah, very good, very good.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.